okay. But for the moment, for Yumiko's sake and mine, I don't want her to be too conscious of that. Change is constant and ever present. Time moves us forward, whether we like it or not. We bump into other people, unpredictable external factors that knock us off course. Our thoughts, our environment, our place in the world, even our ideology. Everything shifts. Even in a world that's defined by change, human relationships are about as astonishingly volatile as it gets. We go from life to death, family to strangers, strangers to family. We meet in part, make allies and enemies, crown winners, mark losers. Some gain independence while others sink into servitude. Some submit and some rebel. Goodwill can change to hatred in a blink of an eye, and hatred to goodwill. Basically necessary evils, but sometimes people fight their best friends to the death in the struggle for power. Sometimes people sell their family for trivial sums of money. Sometimes the subordinate would be treated like a dog, launches a coup d'etat. Sometimes the dictator finds himself groveling like a worm before his old throne. I've seen it all. In the scoop of things, the case of Kazumi Yuji and Sakaki Yumiko isn't anything out of the ordinary, but the last few months have certainly been full of changes. We started off as strangers, then mortal enemies, ? Wary doormates, the daughter of a client and the representative of a certain company, a guard and his principal co-conspirators and fugitives. And now a man and a woman. It was pretty tangled road that brought us here. As for where it led us next, who the hell knows? Certainly not the two people traveling it together. As I've grown more comfortable in my job, free time actually gotten harder to come by. I've been attempting to do my work quietly and keep my head down, but it seems that a rare trait among youngsters these days, earning me unattended recognition from my superiors. And I ended up being promoted to the supervisor of a small work team with 5 or 6 men. Normally this would be something worth celebrating, but right now the goal is not to stand out even in good ways. We may have to consider moving to a different location if I start getting ahead in life despite myself. Well, considering that, I'm also going to be moving by the end of the year, hopefully. I'm moving more up north to the Sault Ste. Marie, which is a lake town. Hopefully, I know that my internet's going to come with me up there, but that's going to be something else. And also, I'm still looking for a place. I'm mainly moving up there because life and work. I'm not going to let that stop me here, because I am a night person. I love the dark. A few days off are often spent on chores and housework. It's mainly cleaning and washing, stockpiling basic preservable food, and investigating the area as a precaution for the worst case scenario. Lots of housewife style labor, except for the last one. Yumiko helps out as well, of course, but the girl had a pretty sheltered upbringing. I'm getting the idea she isn't naturally dexterous either. Even pretty simple jobs tend to give her some trouble. And in any case, we begin our work early in the morning today according to routine, and it's roughly 2 in the afternoon, but the time we're finished. Here we go.
Nani?
Is that book really that interesting? Having wrapped up my work for the day, I inquire about the novel Yumiko's reading intently.
あなたこそ熱心に地図なんて見てるじゃないの。
I think the reason for that should be pretty obvious.
そうね。
I'm going over our potential escape plans in case of an emergency, or to say how particularly useful repeatedly reviewing this will prove, but it's got to be better than overdoing nothing at all. Currently, we've nestled ourselves down in the home turf of the West Railway Company, a bitter enemy of the East Beach groups of the pre-war era. It's safe to say Sakaki Chikari won't be openly looking for cooperation in resolving this family squabble. He's not eager to show cooperate rivals any sign of weakness. Each speech will tread lightly around here. This low-lying area of eastern Tokyo is particularly dense and tangled, and we're keeping a very low profile. I doubt private detectives will be able to track us down that easily. But since this location is ideal, it might stand out as a possibility to a competent investigator tracing a number of lines along our escape routes. I picture the movements of enemies who haven't yet materialized.
私は時間つぶしの手慰みみたいなものよ。特に面白いとも思えなかったわ。
That's so. Viewer smile a little
あま
though.
りにミステリーがつまらなかったから、ついね。出てきた瞬間に犯人が分かったのよ。
That's impressive. I'm not under the illusion that I completely understand Yumiko just because we're in a relationship now, but I didn't think her instincts were that good.
あなたも読む？
You just said it was ridiculous, didn't you? Or is the book more suitable for general audience?
あなたが私と一般を区別した理由は分からないけど、内容は秀逸よ。ただ、私がお金を出してこの本そのものを買ってきてたなら、壁に投げつけているけど。
What are you talking about? Instead of a response, she silently pushes the book open in front of my
登
face.
場したある人物の名前に、ご丁寧に棒線で犯人と注釈が書き込んであったのよ。
Guess that's how it goes with library books sometimes. Still, what a nasty little prank to pull. Sorry about that.
別にあなたが謝ることではないでしょ。
I should have flipped through it first, but the book had a pretty good reputation, so I figured it'd be alright. I won't make the same mistake again, promise. Reading virtually the only entertainment available to Yumiko under our current circumstances, I feel generally bad about letting someone ruin it for her like this. Also, I read books too. I have them actually piled up back there. You guys can see it. You see that black over there? That'll be the books. I have like probably a few things, a folder. I actually have a folder of my Japanese education here. Still learning, but it's slow to learn an entire language. But I think I have a better concept of it than French. Ugh. What, something to say?
評判なんて気にして借りてきてくれてたのね。
Yeah, for what it's worth, might as well read something decent if you're going to read, right?
だったら、もっと他のことに気を使いなさいよ。
Like what?
別に。
Curtly deflected the question, Yumiko returns her focus to the novel. Yumiko,
何？
sure you're not enjoying that book?
どうしてよ。
No reason. Well, honestly, it's because she seems to be in a good mood for some reason. Maybe that note was actually a prank or red herring, and you just hit some clever twist on the plot you never saw coming.
まさか。感想の前にあくびが出るわ。その次はため息ね。
Thought you said it wasn't bad.
だって今2週目だもん。
Not much point hunting for foreshadowing then. In that case, what's she enjoying so much? I don't get it at all. While we're talking, mind if I make one small
何
observation?
よ。
Wasn't sure whether I should mention this, but you're weighing me down, Yumiko. It's in a physical sense. Yumiko's been using my lap as her reading chair for some time. I'm not just talking about today either. Ever once our physical relationship began, and she made a habit of unceremoniously plopping herself down on top of me to read her books, not bothering to ask for permission first. Come to think of it, I suppose this would be the only thing that's really changed about our daily routine after we made love. Yumiko wasn't quite satisfied with the explanation I offer regarding my romantic history, so I've been quietly letting her do as she pleases, but this seemed like a good opportunity to finally say something. Alright, with the brief reply, my objection is completely eliminated. Yeah? Is what a bother. Only a few moments later, Yumiko's lofty expression gives way to something a great deal more uneasy. No, it doesn't really bother me. I was thinking it might be a good opportunity to ask why you're always sitting on me, come to think of it. I guess it actually feels a little pleasant, if anything. Yeah. Yes, really. The childish line of questioning prompts a sudden realization. I thought you've been laying on the overbearing attitude of little thick lately. Maybe you were just trying to hide your embarrassment? The girl doesn't respond, but her face makes me think I might have hit the bullseye. So then Yumiko's been bluffing all this time, acting confident to cover up her timidity, watching my reactions out of the corner of her eye. Secretly was swinging back and forth between happiness and fear. By the time my thoughts get this far, I'm already petting Yumiko's head. Sorry about that. Determined to give the charming little coward some reassurance, I ignore a abashed expression and repeat the motion. Whoa. Well, that's the first time you called me that in a while. That day, I made one request of Yumiko. She become an irreplaceable individual to me, so I asked her to use my name just as I use hers. Yumiko hasn't called me Kasami-kun since then, but I guess the alternative still felt a little awkward. She mostly dodged the issue by using pronouns. I wasn't really upset or anything, but I have to admit it made me feel a little lonesome at times. Was it deliberate? You really think I'd do something that cruel? My apologies, you're right. I'm a heartless monster. I can't believe I didn't even notice how much all this was bothering her. In retrospect, maybe JB was somewhat justified in referring to me as a menace to all womankind. Oh, that was just, you're still a beginner, so I was trying to not be pushy. I guess I wouldn't be able to stop myself. What? You're one high-handed woman. She lets the words fly carelessly. Cool-headed Yumiko I used to know is still there, but with these hints of anxiety and flashes of newfound boldness in the mix, somehow or another she's turning into an undeniable cute young lady. So in other words, you're up for it. What? No good after all. Why do we have to wait until night? I fail to see why that's the problem. A bath, is it? Economize on the water bills as well, so we restricted ourselves to a single bath at night each. Normally I just tell her to get in right now, but under the current circumstances, it's a legitimate reason for the
その
delay.
時の私は納得のできる最高の私でありたいのよ。
Maybe because of all the reading she's been doing lately, Yumiko phrases this in an oddly poetic way. Well, it's definitely an in-character short of thought either way. You're still the same old Yumiko at heart, aren't you?
ええ、そうよ。自己満足よ。悪い？
Nope. A weary smile spreads across my face. I suppose I'll have to respect Yumiko's wishes on this one. Alright then, tonight it is. And once again, we fall silent and return to our idle reading time. Or was the
ど
plan?
うしたの？
Not sure what you're talking about.
その地図、そんなに面白い？
Of course not, it's just a map.
そう。少しだけ笑っていたように見えたから。
I see, suddenly I understand why Yumiko's been in such a good mood all this time. That's got nothing to do with the map, it's a natural side effect of having you next to me.
そう。それは奇遇ね。私もだわ。
It's not easy to put in words, but right now I feel fulfilled. Every day's happy enough that I have expect things to fall apart catastrophically at any moment, just as JB keeps warning that he might. But for now, so long as the situation remains stable, I want to try and enjoy our time together for Yumiko's sake as well as mine. She's never had much in the way of ordinary happiness. Surely God won't mind her indulging in a little sweetness now that she finally has the chance. With that argument as a shield, I try my best to erase the ever-present trickle of anxiety from my mind. Sorry about that. And the peaceful time after I quietly apologize, Yumiko stirs silently against my arms, currently serving as her pillow.
何が？
Seems I'm pretty dense when it comes to the subtleties. It's always been a weakness of mine, but I ended up making you anxious over nothing.
分かっていたし、最初からあまり期待してなかったから。
See?
あまりほっとしないでよ。それでも本当はどこか期待してるんだから。
Right. Yumiko's real thoughts leak out in a cute little mutter. I have a strifeful, a rarely
こ
smile,
ういう関係になっ
laugh.
て、せっかく初めてのちゃんとした休日だったのにね。
Is that right?
そうよ。私が昨日からどれだけ緊張していたか思い知らせてやりたいわ。
I got a lot of things to apologize for.
いいの？
Oh, why?
本当は私の方が謝ることばかりだ。
The words slip quietly from Yumiko's mouth. I don't know what exactly she's remembering right now, but still, you don't have anything to be sorry for, Yumiko, as I think I said once or twice already. Not a single thing. We're both here because we chose to be. Am I wrong? Yumiko nods lightly.
ありがとう。
That's better. Apologizing doesn't suit you. Yumiko, gratitude works much better, and venomous insults best of all.
最後のは余計よ。
Just a joke.
ユージこそ軽口や冗談は致命的に下手ね。
My
あ
apologies.
と何かにつけて私をいじめるところもね。
Sorry, I can't help myself. Before this troubling line of conversation could go any further, I'd probably change the topic. Hey, Yumiko, there's some place you want. Hey, Yumiko, there's some place you want to go? Now that I think about it, we haven't really gone out together yet. I mean, it's probably going to be a little difficult while we're living like this, but I'd still like to know. Nothing wrong.
どうしても聞きたいの？
Her voice is bashful, but also oddly reproachful. What's the problem?
笑わない？
Is it that ridiculous a place? Miko pushes herself up the futon and There's some reason you're wringing my neck? Well, it's not like she's really strangling me yet. Yumiko's fingers are twined gently around my neck in a somewhat menacing fashion, that's all.
わかるでしょ
Come on, don't you trust me at all?
軽口や冗談の部分ではね
Don't look so concerned. I'm not going to mock you for being a little embarrassed. Come on, where do you want to go? Let's hear it.
遊園地殺してやる
Even in the dark room, I could clearly see Yumiko's face so bright. Her eyebrows are arched violently as her eyes fill with tears. Also, she's strangling me on the whole. I'm getting the impression she might be slightly upset. Ouch. Come on, the idea of you in an amusement park is just out.
自分でも分かってるわよ痛いって家族の愛に飢えている女がかわいそうアピールしてるようにしか聞こえないってでもしょうがないじゃない行きたいんだもの行ったことないんだもの行ったことないんだ
Here we go. I recall the story she told me under the bridge that rainy summer evening. For years she clung desperately to her quote-unquote family, only to be betrayed again and again. In the end, the girl gave up on her hopes, and she armed her body and mind with blades against the hostile world. But right now, Yumiko's found someone she can believe in, or at least she's trying very hard to convince herself she has. And what she wants most from that person, from me, is exactly what her family couldn't give her. Laughing at that, some a bit much, even as a joke. Yeah, alright. Let's go to amusement park.
本当に
Yeah, don't know when we'll be able to pull it off, but I'll make it happen. That's a promise as well. And how about a little warning before you jump all over me? Yumiko throws herself against me like an excited child.
ごめんなさい首なんて締めて
Not a problem. I had it down as Yumiko style cuddling. Hey, don't lick my neck.
舐めて直してあげようと思って
Really, it tickles. Cut it out.
ユージ
You can't help but smile for this. For these little moments. Two people who had always been alone slowly moved closer to each other, seeking out something they'd been missing. It was a very happy time. But even so, the stress of life, constantly one misstep, and disaster would gradually take its toll. Yumiko and I were too distracted by those intoxicating moments of happiness to notice it creeping up on us. I don't know what time it is, and I don't really care. More accurately, I don't have the emergency energy to care. I smash asphalt and cart off the rubble like some sort of convict. I carry earth and sand around like a mindless machine, and at the end of the day, I'm paid chicken feed. Since that became my daily routine, those moments of temporal disoriented have gotten pretty common. Never happened to me before. There was usually a very precise schedule to follow at my old job, so I've always been alert to the passing of time. I was genuinely surprised to see that part of me change. Living in an unfamiliar world really is exhausting. It was because I was musing about these things. Damn, I forgot to buy ingredients for dinner. I knew I had to pick something up right until I actually got to the shopping street, but the mental note I made to myself after checking the fridge this morning just fell right out of my mind at some point. Of course, the instant I got home, I saw Yumiko's face and it popped right back into my head. I'll go back and pick something up right
いいわ
away.
よ疲れているのでしょ
I won't deny it, but my condition doesn't necessarily have any bearing on the situation. I've been trained to use my judgment to produce optimal results under any given set of circumstances.
もっと簡潔に言ってちょうだい
I'm hungry, but there's nothing to eat, therefore I'm going to shop.
私が行くわ。
You, Yumiko?
何よ。その、お前にできるのかと言わんばかりの怪げ。
Oh, can you? There's a great deal of this idea that makes me nervous.
ユージは、家事もろくにできない女相手に優しすぎるわ。
Putting my supposed softness aside for the moment, stop insulting the woman I love. What's wrong? Your face is red.
そうやって適当に喜ばせておけばごまかせるバカな女だと思ってるんでしょ。騙されるものですか。
I wasn't really trying to fool you, but can you at least decide if you're happy or angry? When you snarl at me with a mushy expression on your face, it's hard to know how to react.
とにかく買い物くらい子供でもできるわ。
Depends on how they're been raised. Look, Yumiko, I'm not saying you can't handle it. I just don't want to force you to do things you might not be cut out for.
女に対して家事は向いてないなんて死刑宣告に等しいわ。生殺主義でもないけれど一般論としてね。私だって傷つくのよ。
That's not what I meant. I'm sure you could pick up housework if you want. If you put your mind to it, Yumiko just feels like you're rushing things. Why not get used to it little by little?
今の私では買い物一つできないと。
Interacting with strangers isn't exactly your strong point. Remember the time you stood frozen for 30 minutes trying to pick out a single crepe? After wavering indecisively over what to buy, the girl got so self-conscious that she couldn't even flee. Never seen anything like it. I mean, I doubt it's always that bad, but seriously, how can you not be a little uneasy about this? Then again, maybe that's part of the reason Yumiko wants to do this so badly, and it's a chance to overcome one of her weaknesses. Alright, in that case, at least let me come along.
必要ないわ。というより意味がないでしょ、それじゃ。
Yeah, but
疲れているのでしょ。
don't worry about it. It's not severe enough to be a problem.
それは私が決めることだわ。
I think I want to call the shots when it comes to my own body, at least. What? I didn't catch that.
私がユージの心配をしてはいけない。
Yumiko looks up at me with a suddenly sulky expression. A stab of guilt runs through me. The girl's going to do this deliberately. She's frighteningly good manipulator. But of course, I'm perfectly aware Yumiko is not capable of such skillful self-control.
どうなの？ダメ？私
No, I'm happy that you're worried about me.
私を信頼してくれないの？
No one alive I trust as much as you, Yumiko. That's
こ
true.
の世にはいるのね。
Okay, I think you're officially going overboard on the jealousy, and also that it's fucked up because she's dead. And I'm definitely enjoying it too much.
たかだか買い物じゃない。
Oh yes, but what's wrong?
私ユージの二人
For a moment, I'm at a loss for words, but has that been on your mind? Sorry to disappoint you, but I've never thought of you as a burden, not even
言い
once.
聞かせてるように聞こえるわ。
Stop putting the worst possible spin on everything. It's not a lie. That said, I can see where you're coming from. I messed up on this one.
何を？
I was being overprotective. Understandable that you misunderstood. It was clearly my mistake.
分かったわ。そういうことにして。
Thanks, Yumiko. You're all heart.
ユージほどじゃないわよ。
Seems we're finally back to somewhat prickly status quo. I'll be honest with you right now. I'm pretty damn exhausted, both physically and mentally. Once I sit down, I don't think I'm going to get back up once for a while.
そんなに？
I can handle the cooking, but just thinking about walking around is depressing. Can I ask for your help, Yumiko?
待って、今紙とペンを用意するから。
Yeah, I appreciate it. As she hunts nosily for a notepad, Yumiko's eyes seem noticeably brighter than before. I laugh wearily to myself to quietly leave for her to hear.